So the work in Dhaka that we're doing, it's working with vacuum tankers. So previously, Dhaka, well, at the moment, Dhaka is about 20% sewered, and the remainder, so a city of about 18 million, and the remainder of the city has no access to sewage sanitation, and so there's septic tanks and pits. Now, what we've been doing is trying to introduce vacuum tankers. Previously, they haven't been present in the city, so everything is done by manual emptying. So we've been working with the Dhaka Wasa, which is the water utility, and city corporations to be able to introduce a vacuum tanker system that is licensed in a kind of public-private partnership method. So the tankers are owned by the city corporation and are leased out to private operators. So we've been working to introduce that, to work both with the water utility, as I say, Dhaka Wasa, and now with the city authorities, so that they are open to that kind of that method of operation. We have found that they've had vacuum tankers but haven't wanted to reorganize their workforce and reorganize their operating methods in order to run them themselves. And so that we're trying to mobilize that.
Before introducing this service, so the traditional pit emptier, so what we called sweepers, so they provide pit emptying service manually using the bucket or something like that. And after that, local NGO DSK, so they actually introduced mechanical emptying service using vacuum tanker, not commercial basis, something you can call it a charity basis actually. So after that, so the Dhaka Water Supply and Sewerage Authority, so they are the utility of Ministry of Local Government Division. So they received 2 vacuum tanker from UNICEF, and then the Dhaka Water Supply and Sewerage Authority, actually they are responsible for providing water supply to the city dwellers, and as well they have also network-based sewerage system in 20%, almost 20% of households and institutions. But rest 80% depends on on-site sanitation. But it was not clear the mandate. That's why so DWASA didn't provide. So after that, so they seek our support to make the operationalize of the 2 vacuum tanker what they received from UNICEF, and we provided all sort of technical backstopping support to Dhaka Water Supply and Sewerage Authority. And now under the PPP arrangement, we are now providing fecal sludge emptying and transporting service in Dhaka.
Started in 2015, and we've been working with a single entrepreneur in the city. So we're only really scratching the surface in Dhaka at the moment. 2 vacuum tankers in a city of 16 to 18 million is tiny proportion. However, within 5 months of the entrepreneur starting, they were already in profit on an OPEX basis. So they were able to operate and actually be a visible proof of being able to show the service worked. We had quite a lot of difficulty at the start finding a suitable entrepreneur who was willing to take on a job in a new sector that they hadn't visibility of. Now that's really important when we've a year ago now, so 12 months ago, we started also working in Chittagong. So we started trying to see if the model worked elsewhere, and that's been running for a year. Interestingly, in Chittagong, we had a significantly higher number of entrepreneurs who were interested in seeing the work, some of them from Dhaka as well. So they'd seen it could work well. We're now beginning to look at where we can mobilize more entrepreneurs, mobilize more tankers, and that's we're seeing in the next 3 to 4 years. We're going to be looking at both Dhaka and Chittagong and 2 other cities as well, Rangpur and Barashal. Okay. So we're beginning to work in other cities as well as ramping up the size of what we're doing in Dhaka. But bearing in mind that what we've managed is just the transportation, so the collection, transportation, and safe disposal. But there are, of course, other items along the sanitation chain that we still need to work on.
Right.
And we're still working with the city corporation. But key to that has been ensuring that the mandate and the legislation is in place and correct. So we've been working on that in the process as well. And that's really beginning to move things along.
Okay, okay. Habib, do you have anything to add?
Yeah. So actually, in the span of last 3 years, so this is good thing for us that we have demonstrated efficient service delivery model under the PPP arrangement, what we call actually SWIFT. It's a brand name, and this is actually the successful model, and that is widely accepted by the government bodies, private sector, and the customers as well. And recently, in the last year 2017, we have replicated this model in Chittagong and Rangpur as well, and but what we need to actually yet to accomplish, that is the sellable in product and the make market for it. So this is the challenge now.